Thank you, Mr. Chairman. H.R. 6104 is called the Building the Next Generation of Federal Employees Act. But quite frankly, under this bill, the next generation of federal employees is going to look exactly like the current, which is not a pretty picture. And the problem, quite frankly, is not in the recruitment side of things. The problem is in the federal workforce itself. That's because unless we deal with the broader issue around the federal workplace, then this bill of trying to recruit new workers is simply not going to attract the caliber of people that the bill intends to attract. The numbers show the true story, particularly as it relates to federal internships. Only 4,000 paid internships in 2020, down from 60,000 in 2010. New hires from internships are down from 35,000 in 2010 to 4,000 in 2018. This is not working for either side of the equation, whether we're talking the interns or the federal workforce itself. But we are absolutely kidding ourselves if we think that making changes to the internship program is going to improve the quality of the federal workforce. It just simply is not going to happen. Only 8% of the federal workforce currently is under the age of 30. 73% of the workers who are under the age of 30 left civil service in under 2 years. That clearly is indicative of the fact that they did not have a good work experience in the federal workplace. Therein lies the problem. Not recruiting new interns, but the problems why we don't even keep the interns that we have. 73% of them quit in less than 2 years. We have a problem that simply is not attracting people to the federal workforce. And we cannot ignore the fact that the federal workplace bears the reputation of a bureaucracy, as has been referred to several times this morning, and it does not deal with poor performers. On the most recent Federal Employee Viewpoint Survey, only 42% of federal employees who answered the survey said steps are taken to deal with poor performers. Now notice the question did not even ask if steps are taken to get rid of poor performers, but are there even steps to deal with poor performers? The fact is only 9% said poor performers either left the workplace or were removed. That reinforces the negative reputation that I mentioned. It also points to a workplace where good workers therefore must pick up the slack for poor performers and live with the poor morale that is created from the malcontents or those who shriek from their responsibilities. So I've introduced legislation, the Accountable Feds Act, which takes real steps to improve the federal workplace, which is the problem. I'm offering that text as an amendment to H.R. 6104. My amendment makes sure federal managers can deal with poor performers in an appropriate and timely manner. It reinstates, for example, Schedule F, a new civil service category for feds in policy-related roles. It ensures that these employees give their best effort to implement the agenda of the president, the elected leader of the people, rather than decide for themselves what they believe is best for the country. This bill also makes sure that feds spend their time doing the job that they were hired to do rather than on union activities, and it ensures union agreements are negotiated with the needs and interests of the taxpayers first and foremost. Look, I understand the need to recruit talented individuals, and I am not opposed to that. We need good, talented people in federal jobs. But I also understand the needs of the American people through an accountable civil service. That should be our primary focus today. And this is not an either-or situation. I think we've got to look at rewarding good work and effectively handling poor performers. Both of these are critical. Demanding employees actually do their jobs rather than union jobs, this is common sense. And I just believe, Mr. Chairman, if this committee is serious about civil service reform, then we need to do more than simply modify the internship program, and that's why that's what my amendment will do, and I encourage adoption of it. With that, I yield back.